Hey guys, so today we're doing another Muscle Car Wars video for 2023 where we look at each of the muscle cars from the big three American manufacturers. So we'll compare each vehicle from the current generation, looking at the features, engines, power output, and more, and then we'll look to the sales figures of each vehicle and see who's actually winning the Muscle Car Wars these days and outselling the competition. Of course, the players here involve the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, and Dodge Challenger. Any prices shown are in 2023 US dollars. For the comparison, I'll just be going back and forth between the models of each, so all the base models first, and so on. So let's get into it. First off, I know a lot of people debate this, but what is a muscle car? I'm using the definition which states a few points that make a vehicle a muscle car, including that they have a large V8 engine, they're rear-wheel drive, being manufactured in the US or by an American company, two-door body, and being designed for drag racing while remaining street legal. So the Mustang, Camaro, and Challenger best fit that definition. The Charger is left out here as it has 4 doors, and other cars that you could argue, like the Corvettes, or AMG C63, or BMW M4, and so on, are ruled out as they fall under more personal luxury cars, which are a bit too expensive to be considered a muscle car by most people, but also would just get very lengthy and time-consuming to compare more vehicles. So after each round of models, I'll have a comparison chart on screen for you guys to check out, and you can pause if you want to read all of the info. So that's kind of like a recap of data in case you're missing something that I'm saying. So we can begin with the Mustang, which had its current 6th generation launch for the 2015 model year. Note that this lineup is shortened a bit for 2023, as the 7th generation was introduced at the 2022 Detroit Auto Show, but that will begin with the 2024 model. The front end of the Mustang was inspired by the 2011 Ford Evos concept car, and it used the tri-bar style taillights. Compared to the previous Mustang, the body of the car was widened by 1.5 inches and lowered by 1.4 inches, blending the iconic heritage with a modern-day sports car. The interior resembles an airplane cockpit with more width that gives more room for passengers. As for the engines, we'll get into the specs later for each model, but Ford currently offers a 2.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder and the 5-liter Coyote V8 engine. A 10-speed automatic is offered alongside the standard 6-speed manual. The 2023 Mustang lineup ranges from EcoBoost to GT to Mach 1, and you'll notice the GT 500 is absent this year, but I do expect it to return in future years. The 2018 refresh also added an active valve performance exhaust system, where the driver could adjust the exhaust noise, Magna Ride adjustable suspension for standard models, a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, and more. And the Mustangs have a curb weight of between 3,543 to 3,872 pounds. Moving on to Dodge, they've offered a very similar Challenger each year since they brought it back in 2008. The Challenger is still technically in its 3rd generation, as it hasn't received any major updates for a while, and still rides on the LC/LA platform, which is a shortened version that was used from the Charger and Chrysler 300. There was a facelift for the 2015 model year, where the exterior featured a new grille with design cues from the 1971 Challenger, quad LED halo ring headlights, LED taillights, and a functional hood intake on all models. The 2023 Challenger lineup is seemingly endless, with lots of trim levels when you factor in convertibles and wide bodies and that sort of thing. The Challengers are the heaviest cars of these big three, with a curb weight of between 3,860 to 4,443 pounds. As I briefly mentioned there, for 2023, all V8-only Challengers can be had with a convertible, which is an extra $25,999 on top of the MSRP, and Dodge fulfills your order by sending the car to Drop Top Customs, who chops the top off before sending it back to Dodge. Now the Chevrolet Camaro. The 6th generation was introduced in May 2015, celebrating the vehicle's 50th birthday. The car is built on the GM Alpha platform, shared with the Cadillac ATS and CTS, but over 70% of the 6th generation architectural components are unique to this car and are not shared with any other current GM product. 2019 models received a redesign with a revised interior, new wheel designs, new colors, and a new performance hood. The Camaro lineup has 8 trim levels, as you can see on screen. These are also fairly light, weighing between 3,352 to 4,121 pounds. So that was an overview of each car. Now we can look at the base models, followed by the mid-range, and then the top of the range. Again, I will show a summary of some important details like the cost, weight, and performance right after talking about each set of models. So the EcoBoost is the base Mustang trim, and Ford offers an EcoBoost Fastback and Premium version. The regular Fastback starts at $27,770, while the premium is $32,795, and on both a convertible can be had for an additional $5,500. Both have the 2.3-liter turbo 4 engine with 310 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. A 6-speed manual is standard, while a 10-speed automatic costs $1,595 extra. These models have standard equipment like keyless entry, push-button start, cloth seats, and 17-inch wheels. There is a $6,150 high-performance package, which bumps horsepower 20 up to 330, and also adds a ton of other features like a 3.55 rear axle, 19 by 9-inch wheels, 4-piston front Brembos, leather-wrapped steering wheel and paddle shifters, strut tower brace, active valve performance exhaust, and GT performance package, among many other things. An EcoBoost with the performance pack can do a 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds and the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds, and the convertible will add about 1 second to both of those times. Now, Dodge has two comparable V6 base models, the SXT for $31,100 and the GT for $34,495, both of them a few thousand more than the base Mustangs. All-wheel drive is available on both for $3,300. The power plant is the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine with 303 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. Performance on both is identical, but the GT looks sportier with a performance hood, functional hood scoop, SRT front splitter, performance steering and suspension, and 20-inch wheels. The GT also offers a brake upgrade like the EcoBoost, and the cheapest way to get it is the $1,595 Performance Handling Group, which gives you 20 by 9-inch wheels and red 4-piston Brembos all the way around with 14.2-inch front and 13.8-inch rear rotors. However, if you're looking to keep up with the EcoBoost, the V6 Challenger won't do it, as it goes 0 to 60 in between 6.1 to 6.3 seconds and does a quarter mile in 14.5 seconds, so both are around 1 second slower than an EcoBoost. For Chevy, there are pretty much 4 base models offered. It begins with the 1LS. There are different costs for the automatic versus manual, but the starting price is $27,795, and that comes with a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder that makes 275 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. With the turbo, a 6-speed manual is standard, while an 8-speed automatic is a $14,995 upcharge. It has the least horsepower of any trim levels of these three vehicles, but it is faster than Dodge's V6 and rivals the Mustang EcoBoost thanks to its lighter curb weight. 0 to 60 happens in about 5.4 seconds with a 14-second flat quarter mile. The features are pretty bare bones here, with 18-inch wheels, a rear folding bench seat, 6-speaker sound system, rear camera, and front powered bucket seats. There's also a 1LT, 2LT, or 3LT that can each be had with the 2-liter turbo engine or a 3.6-liter V6. The cheapest V6 configuration is a 1LT with the manual for $29,890, and the costliest is the 3LT with the automatic for $37,485. This V6 engine has an output of 335 horsepower and 284 pound-feet of torque, so it just drops the 0 to 60 time a few tenths of a second from the turbo down to 5 to 5.2 seconds, and the quarter mile down to 13.7 seconds. Each of the LT packages simply adds more features as the price increases, things like leather seats, dual zone climate control, active safety features, a heads-up display, and more. Now we move on to the V8s, and the first Ford V8 offering is found in the iconic GT. Ford offers a $38,345 fastback and a $43,365 premium fastback GT, and the convertible is once again $5,500 extra, but only available on the premium. Power output on the GT is now at 450 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. Standard on the base GTs are 18-inch wheels, a limited slip differential, power front seats, and quad exhaust tips, and there's a $4,000 premium option to add heated and cooled leather seats, a 9-speaker sound system, and selectable drive modes. There are also several performance options and packages available, including a range of rear axle ratios, several wheel choices, and Recaro sport seats. A California Special package adds 19-inch carbonized gray wheels, suede door and seat inserts with red stitching and logos, rear wing, front splitter, side scoops, and more. These are pretty quick cars with a 0 to 60 in 4.2 to 4.4 seconds and a quarter mile around 12.5 to 12.7 seconds. 2023 is supposedly the last call for Dodge, and the last year for these challengers as we know them, so Dodge is going out with a bang by offering 5 different V8s. We'll cover the 5.7-liter and 6.4-liter Hemis here, since those are both now the mid-level engines in comparison to the Mustang and Camaro. The 5.7-liter engine is only available in the RT, which costs $40,035 and comes with 375 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. The RT shares the same performance look as the GT, and it features a few customization options from the factory, like the TA package, shaker package, or RT Classic side stripes. Also of note is that 4-piston Brembos, 20 by 9.5-inch wheels, and a 3.09 rear axle ratio can all be had with the 1595 Performance Handling Group. The RT is priced right around where the Mustang GT is, but it's got 75 less horsepower and weighs more, so it's actually more comparable to the EcoBoost, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, and the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds. For the RTs and Scat Pack, a 6-speed manual Tremec transmission is standard, but there is the TorqueFlite 8-speed auto for $15.95. The Scat Pack model is where you'll find the 6.4-liter Hemi V8 with 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. These models begin at $47,495, but both the Scat Pack and Hellcats above it offer a wide body package that includes fender flares, 6-piston Brembos, adaptive damping suspension, and 20 by 11-inch wheels for an extra $5,995, so that brings your total to $53,490. It's not an SRT model, but there are some premium features included from other SRTs above it, like line lock, launch control, and SRT performance pages. There's also several packages, like the shaker, TA, and most notably the 1320 drag focus package, which gives you 20 by 9.5-inch wheels, 275/40 R20 drag radial tires, rear seat and passenger seat delete, drag mode suspension, and trans brake, all for $4,000 extra. For performance, a regular Scat Pack can do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, and the quarter mile in 12.5 seconds, which rivals the GT and the 2SS, but the 1320 is capable of an 11.7 second quarter mile. Now as for Chevy, they offer 2 V8s, and the mid-range would be the 6.2-liter LT1 V8 with 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. You'll find this in the LT1, 1SS, or 2SS, starting at $37,795 for an LT1 with a 6-speed manual, and prices go up to $47,890 for a 2SS with the 10-speed automatic. So usually a bit more expensive than a loaded GT, but far less than the Scat Packs. Each model keeps adding features as the price increases. Some features on these cars include 20-inch wheels, a limited slip differential, upgraded brakes, sport suspension, and a track mode. The V8 can move the Camaro from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds and do the quarter mile in 12.3 seconds. So that would make it the quickest of all three, aside from a 1320 Scat Pack in the quarter mile. I'll be honest in saying that 2023 is a bit of an unfair comparison for Ford specifically, because their top models from prior years are no longer offered, and they won't be for 2023 or 2024. But with those gone for now, the top dog is now the Mach 1 and the Mach 1 Premium, which have price tags of $56,570 and $58,665 for the Premium. This model is somewhat of a mix between the higher-end past Mustangs, as it uses the GT's 5-liter V8, the GT350 6-speed manual, intake manifold, engine cooler, and front and rear subframe, and the GT500's rear axle cooling system, rear toe link, and rear diffuser. The power is up at just a bit over a regular GT to 470 horse and 410 pound-feet of torque. For the top Challenger models, Dodge now offers many different Hellcat variations, like the Hellcat and Hellcat Red Eye, and both of those with wide body, Superstock, and the Demon 170, that's limited to 2023 only. Also note that for 2023, all the Hellcats are technically the jailbreak version, which just means that there's more customizations unlocked for features like the color of the carpets, badges, calipers, and other visual effects. All of these start with the 6.2-liter supercharged V8 engine. So the standard Hellcat is $72,685 with 717 horsepower, 656 pound-feet of torque, and a top speed of 199 miles per hour. The same car but with a wide body adds $6,400 to the price tag. The Hellcat has a functional dual snorkel hood, 6-piston front and 4-piston rear calipers, Bilstein adaptive damping suspension with customizable ride stiffness, and features like line lock, launch control, and the after-run chiller. The red-eye version starts at $81,290 and adds a good bit more power with a high-output version of the engine that has 797 horsepower and 707 pound-feet of torque that makes good use of a 2.7-liter screw-type supercharger that produces 14.5 psi of boost. The wide body is available again here. This will add features like the SRT power chiller and race cooldown. The red-eye wide body is able to hit a top speed of 203 miles per hour, and it can also hit a 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds and run a quarter mile in around 10.9 seconds. The SRT Superstock is next up, starting at $89,695 in wide body form only. It also has the same engine as the red-eye, which adds 10 horsepower to 807. It comes with 18 by 11 inch wheels with 315/40 R18 Nitto NT05R drag radial tires and a 3.09 to 1 rear axle ratio. The numbers are pretty staggering: 0 to 60 in 3.25 seconds and the quarter mile at 10.5 seconds at 131 miles an hour. The final Dodge offering is the unbelievable Demon 170, but it's priced extremely high with an MSRP of $96,666. The 6.2-liter is used, but just about everything is upgraded from a red-eye other than the block. Weight savings is a big deal, so there are no front fender flares, lighter wheels, and a very stripped-down interior with just the driver's seat standard. So that cuts 157 pounds from a Hellcat red-eye wide body, but it's still a really heavy car at 4,275 pounds. Full power is unlocked with E85 gasoline, as you unlock 1,025 horsepower and 945 pound-feet of torque. Running 91 octane still gives you 900 horsepower and 810 pound-feet of torque. Dodge was happy to claim this as the world's first 8-second production car and the quickest, fastest, most powerful mass-produced vehicle in the world. They claim that on a fully prepped surface with E85 in the tank, the car is good for a 0 to 60 in just 1.66 seconds and the quarter mile in 8.91 seconds at a stunning 151 miles per hour, but the street numbers aren't yet released. So the red-eye is already priced way above the Mach 1 and the ZL1, which we'll cover, while the wide bodies and other variations add even more costs. Sitting at the top of the Chevy lineup is the ZL1, starting at $68,695. This also has a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 that pumps out 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 6-speed manual, or $1,595 for a 10-speed auto. This high-performance trim features a lower grille opening for improved cooling, a new front splitter, and a carbon hood insert which removes hot air from the engine compartment. It also features wider front fenders to accommodate wider tires for improved handling, and uses Ford staggered wheels, 20 by 10 inch front and 20 by 11 inch rear. You also get Recaro bucket seats, 6-piston brakes, performance data recorder, and magnetic ride control suspension. The ZL1 is good for a 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds and a quarter mile in 11.4 seconds, holding its own against all of the other muscle cars that we've talked about. As an add-on, there's the popular 1LE Extreme Track Performance Package for $7,500 extra. Some features include carbon fiber hood and spoiler, staggered 19 by 11 inch front and 19 by 12 inch rear forged aluminum wheels, 305/30 and 325/30 staggered tires, performance suspension, and more. That reduces the overall weight of the car by 60 pounds from the regular ZL1. So that's the true top model here, the ZL1 1LE, with a price tag of $76,195. Now that we've compared each vehicle and their lineups, we can see who's really winning the muscle car wars. You can have your opinion or weigh certain parameters more than others to determine which car looks or performs better, or which brand is your favorite, but the real winner is the car that sells the most. Without knowing more financial information, like the profit margin on each vehicle, the average sale total, profit on the options and add-ons, and other factors, we can only see which vehicle sells more. I'll also display some older sales figures, but we won't talk about them, so pause if you're interested in those upcoming. Chevy has seen their sales fall off down into the 20,000s for 2020, then falling to 24,652 last year, and just 7,780 through quarter one in 2023. So that's good enough for dead last, and it wasn't even close. Overall, over the last 14 years, with ordering for the 2010s starting in 2009, Chevy has sold over 890,000 Camaros, which is good for an average of 63,000 cars per year. The last 5 years, 2018 to 2022, have been really awful though, with total sales of 175,551 or 35,111 per year. As for Dodge, they started off pretty slow after the reintroduction in 2008, but momentum has been growing in recent years. Overall, Dodge sold over 766,000 Challengers, which is an average of over 50,000 per year. So the Challenger is technically last in terms of overall sales, but recently sales have been picking up steam. In the past 5 years, they've sold 65.3% more than the Camaros, over 290 Challengers, which is over 58,000 per year. And through Q1 in 2023, they've sold over 11,000, which is 46% more than the Camaro this year. And that'll bring us to the Mustang, who is still the indisputable king of the muscle cars based on sales figures alone. Since '08, Ford sold almost 1.2 million Mustangs, good for almost 78,000 per year, blowing both the Camaro and Challenger way out of the water. Over the past 5 years, the Mustang still edges out the Challenger, but the gap is definitely closing. So Ford sold over 306,000 from 2018 through 2022, which is good for just above 61,000 per year, which is just 5.5% more than the Challenger in that same time frame. The Challenger edged out the Mustang in both 2021 and 2022, but in 2023 so far the Mustang sales are resurging, selling 69.4% more than the Challenger through Q1. So what does this all tell us? The Mustang is still selling the most, but the Challenger is catching up fast within the past 5 years. But the Mustang is a winner whether you're looking at total sales, average sales, or recent sales. The Camaro is still second in overall sales, but it's dead last when looking at recent trends in the past 5 years, and also in 2023. And as for Dodge, can they keep this up? They've got good momentum right now with all their offerings like the Red Eyes and Demons, but who knows how long they can ride this wave as EVs loom in their near future. So that's the end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed going deep into the features, performance, and sales of the Mustang, Camaro, and Challenger. What did you think of the findings, and who is winning the muscle car wars today, in your opinion? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.